Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the plant spot. If you notice today, we're actually not in the plant room. We are in my kitchen. So my husband's gonna pan around real quick because I make reference to this part of the house a lot, but you don't get to see it. And yes, I do have a semi-jungle in here. I can't help myself. And that is Addie making her noises. Hey, Adeline. Hey, there you guys are. Well, if you like this type of content, stick around. All right, guys. On today's edition of the Plant Spot, we're going to talk about the hookeri. It's an anthurium, and it's commonly referred to as a bird's nest. Now, in my experience, this plant enjoys bright and direct light. I've had this plant since September of 2023. I bought it online from Gabriella's Plant Shop, and it was a wee itty bitty thing. It was one of the first anthuriums that I bought, and I have gotten into the anthurium, but not necessarily the heart-shaped ones. My husband is really anxious for me to get one of those, even though he says I have too many plants. So that's next on my wish list. But back to this baby. It is native to South America and the West Indies. It is an epiphyte, and we've talked about epiphytes before. Those are the plants that tend to grow on trees, and they don't necessarily need soil. With that being said, you should, if you have it in an indoor condition, it should be placed in something that is well draining. They enjoy what we call an organic rich type of substrate. So in this case, I have this one planted in cocoa coir, cocoa husk, perlite, and a little bit of charcoal. And then I have a sphagnum collar on the top because this one puts out advantageous roots, and they tend to come out at the top. And if you don't keep them kind of moist, they will dry out on you. Hence the reason for the collar on the top of the plant. Now, if you notice, my setup doesn't have any drainage. So I literally have this plant in a pot with no drainage. And I owe this adventure to a YouTuber that I follow called Plant Gay for Life. His name is Jake, and he has a group of anthuriums that he grows in this fashion that are absolutely beautiful. I said, what the heck, let me give it a shot, because at the end of the day, what I was noticing with my specimen was that it was drying out too quickly. And these plants like to stay consistently moist, not wet, not waterlogged, but moist. So I followed what he was doing with his plants, and I came up with very similar to what he's doing. I've got flugo, I think that's how you say that, flugo at the bottom. The only difference from what he did to what I've done is that I put a little piece of that mesh in between the flugo and the substrate, and then I put the substrate in my plant. And to water it, what I do is, because it's in a see-through pot, I can literally see when my soil is getting dry. And what I do is I water it from the top, and I only let the water hit to where that flugo is. And as you can see, because we can spy on the roots, she seems to be happy. I can monitor for root rot, which is one of the things that this plant is very susceptible to. And our roots look very healthy. And she's literally found a way to get past that barrier and get her roots to touch that water, which is hilarious to me. But this plant, for me, you know, I'm a leaf girl. It's the leaves. Look at these leaves. Now, you'll see that one is tattered, and this is the very first one that she put out for me. But since then, she's put out these other leaves that are absolutely gorgeous, and she's flowering. Now, what I saw online was that there are a couple of variations of this particular plant, and in order to know if you've got a true hookeri or one of the cultivars, you can only tell by the berries that it puts out. So if your berries are red, then chances are you have a cultivar. If the berries are white, then you have a true hookery. Now, how true that is, I don't know. There's still a lot of debate online as to Adeline. There's a lot of debate online as to if that's true or not. Only time will tell, because she did flower, and I was going to cut the flower spike off because I have no intentions of pollinating it. But after reading that, I'm very curious to see if she puts out berries, will they be white or will they be red? Other things to note about this plant are pests. So yes, it is susceptible to all of the pests. Adeline, seriously now. Sorry about that, guys. She is susceptible to pests, and it's all the common ones we know: mealybugs, aphids, spider mites, things of that nature. I did see, maybe about 5 months ago, some little black bugs. I'm not certain if they were aphids or not, but you know me, I don't play that. So right away, she got a bath and stuff, and I've been monitoring her. I have not seen anything on her leaves anymore. She seems to be very happy. So let's talk about placement. I actually have this plant. It lives on the top of the cabinet in the plant room. From what I've read, they say that she likes indirect or bright light, but she's at the corner of the cabinet, so she's getting light, but it's kind of more like a filtered type light because she's not directly up under that light. What else can I tell you about this bad boy? Let's see, we talked about pests, we talked about light, we talked about watering, we talked about substrate, I talked about the beautiful leaves, the growth. In my experience, she's not fast and she's not slow, which is perfect for me. But what I do know is that she has a propensity of growing very wide. This is still a young specimen, even though she's flowered. I am curious to see just how big she gets. I do know, just based on the size of the leaves, this is her latest leaf. So if they all grow like this, she probably won't be able to stay in the position that she's been over the past year. But she's still a lovely plant. As far as anthuriums go, I've heard that they can be a little difficult to grow. And you guys know, I've shown you one that I had on the struggle bus, which is actually doing much better. I think the key here is to figure out your watering pattern. If you find a way to keep them moist, I think you'll succeed with them, because that's the thing. They grow on the bottom, even though they're an epiphyte, they start at the bottom and then they make their way up to the top, but they do like to stay moist. And I think that was the struggle that I was having. When they dry out too much, that's when you start running into problems and into pests. But on a scale of 1 to 10, would I recommend this plant? Absolutely. She's absolutely gorgeous. And once you find your niche or your groove with her, you won't struggle. So this is the bird's nest, the Anthurium Hookeri. Beautiful plant. You should check it out. Now, if you like this type of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us. Share with a friend. And please leave me your comments regarding this plant or any other Anthurium you're growing. I'd love to see what you've got going on. Thanks, guys. Talk to you real soon. Bye.